This review has been brought to you in part by Main Irish Airsoft.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Oddy's Airsoft. For this video review we're going to be having a look at this baby, which is the Dragunov SVD, the sniper rifle. Now I should say from the offset that what I'm not reviewing is the scope. Right, I only have the scope on here because it is the dedicated scope that's available for this particular gun. It's a 4x26 scope, and it's very nice. We have had a look at this before in a previous video. Really nice reticle, very clear. So for the purposes of the review, I'm going to remove it from the gun because it's not what we're reviewing here today. Right, so before we get into the nuts and bolts of this, two things you should know. I don't like Eastern Bloc guns, right? Not an AK fan whatsoever. Second thing is, I've never performed the sniper role in airsoft. I've always been a rifleman, occasionally a support gunner, but never a sniper. That being said, I do actually like this gun. I don't know why. Quirky design, you know, who knows? It's got something that I like, and I do like the look of it. I know there's a few different versions out there. This particular one is from ASG. Now ASG don't make any guns, but it's commonly known that this gun is built by A&K. The interesting thing about this one, compared to other ASG guns, is that there's no ASG trades on it, which is a good thing. Because on a gun of this type I think it might spoil it. So there we are. When I first picked it up I thought, oh, it's a bit quirky, it's a bit odd. How will I get used to it? You know, I shouldered it and thought, well, that stock's very short, and you know, there's a few bits and pieces that I thought, that's very strange indeed. But you know what? The short stock makes sense, because if you don't have a shorter stock on it, you're not going to be able to actuate the bolt. Right? If you had a longer stock, there's no way you could reach forward comfortably and actuate the bolt. It just wouldn't work. Second thing, which I thought was a little odd, but you know, after thinking about it, it does make sense. The magazine is actually a high cap. And I thought, well, why do you have a high cap on a sniper? But you know what? It takes about 140, 180 rounds. I'm not quite sure on the number. But if you want to travel really light as a sniper, it does actually make perfect sense. You just fill the mag, you go out for the day, and you're good to go. Right? You don't need to bring any BBs, any other mags, anything else with you. Just the gun, magazine full of BBs, and you're good to go. What do you need to know? Adjusting the hop I thought was a little odd. But then again, I think a lot of Eastern Bloc guns are odd. So you swivel that lever around, top cover comes off. Now when the bolt is cocked, you can actually get access to the hop unit. And this little grub screw here is how you adjust the hop up. At the minute the gun is in not safe, so I'm not sure. Yeah, you see the bolt is locked back there. When the bolt is locked back, it's actually very easy, one finger, to move that back, give you easy access to the hop up. So you can fire, lock the bolt again, easy access, just keep adjusting it. It's quite handy to adjust it on the fly. In a lot of ways it's handier than adjusting a standard M4 hop-up unit, because you know, you're not opening the dust cover and fiddle around with the wheel and firing another couple of shots. So it is surprisingly ergonomic. Okay, it's a sniper rifle, so you're going to want to know how well it shoots. Now this is where we come back to the I'm not a sniper statement, but we'll show you this. I set up a target at the end of the garden, 25 yards distance according to my laser rangefinder, 25 shots, and these are the results. Now you should accept it was a windy day when I tested it, quite blustery, so the shots may appear to be a little bit all over the place, but I didn't think it was too bad given the conditions. Now having said that, I'm not a sniper. I don't know if this is good or bad. So as you can see, 25 shots, 20 of them are on the main body of the target, with one just up here, not sure what happened there, and there were 4 flyers. Now the flyers didn't miss the paper by that much, but they did miss the paper. One of the things I thought was interesting after I'd taken these shots, when you fold this up like that, you can see that 17 of the shots are in this 6-inch range. Now that to me suggests that the hop is quite efficient at keeping the BB on the same flight plane in terms of vertical adjustment. Now the windage, yeah, it was windy, so that, I'm presuming that's why the shots have the dispersion they have laterally. But I thought it was quite good hop control, you know, considering the BBs only wavered that much in 25 yards. As I say, I'm not a sniper, don't think this is gospel. Some of you may be looking at this thing and that's terrible, you should have a 6-inch grouping at 25 yards. But, you know, this is a completely stock gun, nothing's been done to it. Stock barrel, stock hop rubber, nothing else has been done to it. And also, I did have issues. Fair enough, I said I wasn't going to review the sight, but the scope, should I say. But I was shooting with the scope, and I did have issues adjusting the scope for windage. So I had to make allowances of that when I was shooting. That could be a possible issue. You may want to take that into account. But I thought the accuracy was reasonable. You know, if I can put 21 BBs on a slightly smaller than man-sized target at 25 yards, I don't think that's too bad. Maybe it's not great for a sniper. Maybe I still have the whole AEG thing in my head, standard M4 full auto type thing, but I thought it was okay. Now the one thing that was missing from this particular sniper rifle, and I thought it was odd because, you know, you always see snipers with them, is a bipod. I'd never seen pictures of a Dragunov with a bipod, so I thought it was a bit odd that I didn't see one anywhere. So I spoke to someone who knows about these things, and apparently there is a bipod available. It's similar to the one that's available for the RPK, I think it is. I think they call it a scissors type configuration. You basically close the legs on the bipod and the upper jaw is open, and you place it on the barrel where you want, and you open the bipod legs, and then it locks onto the barrel. There you have your bipod functionality. I didn't have a bipod when I was shooting. I was shooting from a seated position with the gun resting on a chair in front of me, so it was secure, it wasn't moving, it was a good shooting position. There's not much else I can say really. It was a reasonably consistent performer, for me anyway. Never having played the role of the sniper, I thought it was quite good. I suppose another point to mention maybe is that because I'm not a sniper, I don't carry any heavy BBs. So the BBs I was using for the target practice were G&G 0.25 gram BBs, which are reasonably heavy in AEG context, but not necessarily so for snipers. Most of the snipers I know are using 0.3s and upwards depending on the conditions. So that could also be a factor. Certainly because it was windy, maybe if I had been using 0.3s or heavier, I would have got a more consistent grouping. So do take that into account when you're looking at this review and considering this gun as a possible purchase. So yeah, I was very happy with it. It handles nicely. It is quite ergonomic despite it looking a bit funky. Build quality, pretty good. I mean, I think it looks as realistic as it's going to look. You can get versions with full wood furniture, and some of the versions I've seen are very nice indeed. But I have no problems at all with the polymer foregrip and the polymer stock on this. Nice and comfortable, decently made. Okay, there's a few mold lines that are quite visible, but for a gun of this era, you know, when it was designed, I don't think that's too bad. It's probably quite realistic. So my overall impression of the gun was very positive. Nice to use. For me, reasonably accurate. And I think it's reasonably good value at the price as well, 140 euros. And obviously the scope is extra. But you know, for a sniper rifle, starting off, you know, most snipers are going to customize their gun in some way. I think that's a reasonable price for a pretty good gun. So that's it from me. So Audie's Airsoft out.